Hi, welcome back to the comics panel.
Thanks for joining us again.
What is our topic on this segment?
Well, we could talk about...
I'm drawing a blank.
The evolution of characters, because I didn't get my mic with that.
Well, we can talk a little bit about that.
I think we should talk a little bit about independence. How they came to be.
Independent publishers.
Yeah, let's talk about the independence. Because there's good storylines out there.
There's great storylines out there with independence. One of the cool things that I think about independence is they're not really restricted in a lot of ways. I mean, when you have a large company that has this huge canon of stories and characters that you have to follow this and this continuity type of thing. So independence, you can kind of step away from that. So I think we get a little bit more interesting things from independent titles, and there isn't quite so much rules, if you want to say that. So that's what I think is really cool. It's almost like an Elseworlds or a What If.
There's no ball and chain.
Exactly.
This is brand new. But then again, too, there's nothing wrong with conformity. Because,
no.
Because just like when Image was first starting,
and it works,
all their characters were drawn way out of proportion. It was all eye candy female. At one point, I stopped buying certain Image titles because I was...
Watch.
Yeah, exactly. Witchblade. That armor only covered the bikini area.
Yeah.
It's like, after a while, come on. Sarah, will it to do something more. And I stopped buying it for that. And then after it went up, I kicked myself in the butt because I could have those issues and flipped them for some money. But, yeah, exactly. But one thing I loved was Valiant Comics. That was a great series of stuff. In fact, Bloodshot is coming out in a couple of years. They greenlit that. They're going to make a Bloodshot movie.
Yeah, the Valiant titles have been come back. They relaunched everything.
For a year or so now. I liked Valiant. Man of War, Exo I thought was excellent. Awesome. The Bart Sears stuff, fantastic.
Eric the Barbarian.
And Turok. I am a big fan of Turok.
Turok stuff was pretty cool.
That was great Gold Key stuff. Those covers were, oh man, that was great when I was a kid. So when he came back in Valiant and they used him really well, still fighting the dinosaurs, that kind of stuff, I thought that was really cool. So I liked that. We talked about a little bit about Malibu Comics and Ultraverse, which was then bought up by Marvel. But there was some really good characters in there that I thought. Prime was really good. Hard Case.
The Protectors from
Protectors.
Siren,
that was cool. Yeah,
Siren was one of those
Man
characters.
of War, yeah. There's some really cool stuff that came out. And there's a lot of smaller independents, some that have come and gone. London Knights was an older one from the 90s. That was really cool. He did a lot of the Razor stuff. That was a cool one.
IDW is a good one.
IDW, yeah. Well,
that's one of
they're
names.
a little bit. Yeah. They're getting to the point where I wouldn't consider them an independent anymore.
Well, 30 Days a Night, they were the ones that came.
Image and IDW, I mean, they really grew up. I mean, the whole thing with Image wasn't that they wanted to say because they were great artists, they could put out.
Well, it was creator owned. I think that was.
I mean, Image is big with the creator owned stuff. But,
and why not?
All their stuff was.
They should be.
Their early stuff, I just grew tired of it really fast. I mean, other than the shipping,
I think
and stuff like that, but everything was all the same. But nowadays, Image books are really phenomenal reads.
They are.
Oh, sure.
I like Image much
so
better
much
now than I did when they
stuff
first came out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How about Dark Horse Comics?
Dark Horse
has some really good stuff.
You want to say that they're not
gosh.
independent. They're really strong. They're not independent.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, at one time they held the Star Wars franchise, and they were putting out great stuff with that.
Yeah, Dark Horse. I wouldn't consider them an independent anymore.
About a year ago, they had a 5-part miniseries, 8.
Yes.
Fantastic. I would love to see them do the way they ended it, potentially could come out with another 5 issues. I would love to see them do it. It's about time travel and stuff like that. It was pretty cool.
Excellent. And we have to talk about Hellboy a little bit.
Oh, sure.
I know you're not a real big fan.
I don't read the comics. I love the movies.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want me to tag her in? She knows more about Hellboy.
Okay, I'll tag her in.
No, Nicia, come on up.
I
don't know anything about Hellboy.
Tag me in. Bro.
I don't know.
We'll talk Hellboy.
I saw the movie.
Well, then you know something. Actually, the movie was really good.
I enjoyed
thought
the movie,
it really portrayed the character very well. So, I mean, I don't think you're missing out on a whole lot as far as the character itself went.
Right, and I actually, in the spin-off series they did, I thought was pretty enjoyable too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, enlighten us about the books.
Well, Mike Mignola writes the books, and there's a couple reasons that I really like Hellboy. One, it has a lot to do with World War II stuff, which I'm completely fascinated by, and horror. It's almost the perfect storm for me. I love the art. I love the fact that it goes through multiple layers of time, and it's just it touches on all kinds of stuff.
Ties in with Hitler's fascination.
It ties in with
cult.
everything.
It does.
It's a lot of.
I like that.
It's a lot of good detective stuff too.
Yeah, it's
Like,
not
it's
just
so-
straight out horror, but it can be.
It can be.
And it can really be the classic horror, but can also be a very
Sci-fi
type
horror,
of
yeah.
that's a more modern. I mean, you can get the classic vampire, but at the same time, there'll be a ghoul somewhere or something.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's not exactly the same, but it's really cool.
They don't stick necessarily to the over-popularized stuff like vampires, werewolves, zombies. Like there's a little bit of that, but they kind of open the monster compendium a little more,
Nice.
which I think is sort of refreshing.
Everybody likes a good monster in a
definitely.
book.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of Lovecraftian type of stuff going on, I think.
Right.
A lot of, that kind of New England. A lot of stuff happens in New England, and especially and so there's a lot of that.
Some tentacles going on.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of that, which is cool. I'm a giant Lovecraft fan, so that's really neat to me. Perfect. Hellboy's a great read, and it's really cool because he's allowed a lot of other people to do a lot of things with it. As it's expand, he's had other people write it, other people do artwork for it.
And I don't really think there's nothing pops out as far as anything that's been ridiculously disappointing.
Correct.
As far as that stuff goes, not unlike I mean, I think we've all read some spin-offs where we were so hopeful, and then it crashed and burned, like Lucifer.
Yeah.
So hopeful, crash and burn.
Start out good and then
Started off so good.
Did you like Little Hellboy?
itty bitty Hellboy, you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, a little bit.
I'm a sucker for cute
cracks me
things,
up,
though.
yeah.
The comic relief side of Hellboy.
it does crack me up. Yeah, they're out monster hunting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I read it. Yeah,
And I think the movies are actually a really good jumping off point for people who wanted to get into that. 'Cause
I don't think there's a whole. I think you can kind of step into the Hellboy world at any point in time.
yeah.
It's
So that's
not
all
like,
the movies, and they were great.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really think you can pick up a Hellboy story, and as long as you start at the beginning of that story arc, you're good. I think there isn't a whole lot of explanation other than it's supernatural and science going on. Giant robot apes sometimes, that kind of stuff. Lobster Johnson.
Yes.
That kind of stuff. So that's really cool.
yeah.
So
All right.
and I don't know about other independent stuff. Have you ever read Poison Elves or I, Lucifer?
Poison Elves.
Yeah,
Poison Elves. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
That was some
that's-
fantastic writing.
That's an independent book that was put out by Sirius, originally by Mulehide Graphics from the late great Drew Hayes.
Yeah.
That's something that if you want to get on something really good to read, get the trade paperbacks. I would recommend that to anybody.
What
Yeah.
about like Zenescope with all their grim fairy tale stuff?
That's pretty cool. I read a little bit of those off the shelf type of thing. They definitely cover all the bases of all the fairy tale stuff. They just do it with a slight twist. A little bit more modern. Different characters each time. You know what I mean? I mean, they have some reoccurring characters, but they're kind of self-contained. So that's a good one. They sell all right, yeah.
Oftentimes looked at them off the shelf, paged through them a little bit. Artwork looks pretty cool in some of them. I'm surprised at the wide range of titles they hit.
Yeah.
With some of them I was really surprised, even to some of the current stuff you see today in movies. They kind of put their own little spin on it, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where did Grogan go?
Want me to tag you back in, bro?
Grogan,
All
did we miss any other
I
titles?
really don't have too much to add as far as the image stuff goes.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
We'll talk about Image a little bit.
I think you covered it all nicely.
Do you have anything you want to add? Any other titles we missed?
No, I think you covered it all nicely.
All right.
All right,
Grogan
well.
said we did good, so
So I guess we did good.
Yay!
Please like us on Facebook.
and subscribe to our YouTube channels and leave your comments down below. Also, we'd like to know what you're reading, so tell us what your
let us
favorite
know.
independents.
We're up for anything, to be honest with you. So let us know what you're reading. Let us know what you think is really great and what other people should be reading too. We'll talk about it, or at least give it a shot.
Yes.
Yep. See you next time.